Hey, on this episode of SAMP&CHANCE Boxing, we talked about it. It is finally here. The kickoff to the greatest boxing season potentially ever. We got Canelo Munguia coming up. We also have Inoue Nery coming up as well a couple of days later. So here we go. Ryan Garcia traveling the world, victory lap galore. Deontay Wilder, first fight's not even in the bag, but we're already talking his second fight. His Excellency is not wasting time. To find out what we're talking about, get all these details and our predictions, check us out on Samp and Chance. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of SAMP&CHANCE Boxing. It is Thursday. It is Friday Eve. Iron Maiden, AC/DC in full effect. Mr. Chance Michaels, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. I'm excited. Here we are. It's Thursday, which means we're getting that much closer to Saturday. We have a full table lined up for the whole day. Like I told everyone last week, if you were going to do family stuff, get it out of the way the weekend before, because now if you're a boxing fan, you have to be locked in for the next few Saturdays, man. And I'm sorry to all the ladies whose husbands love boxing and football. You would think that this was the time that you get your husband back. No, things are just about to get crazy.
Oh, it's a great time right now.
What do you want to talk about first? Should we do Canelo Munguia?
I guess so. Yeah, it's the biggest thing going right now. We got to do it.
All right, let's get this puppy started. Here we go. Canelo Munguia this Saturday, and I mentioned it on the Tuesday podcast. It doesn't feel a lot of hype around this match. To this day, I still don't feel a lot of hype. Like, I mean, yeah, we're gearing up to it. It is Canelo, but it doesn't have that same Canelo feel. Do you understand where I'm going with, or do you agree with me?
I get it a little bit, but that's just because of Munguia. He's not a well-known name. His record is great. He's 43-0, but he's not well known to the casual fan. So that's why you're not feeling that hype. Charlo had a big name. Triple G's got a big name. This is at T-Mobile Arena. This is the T-Mobile Arena sold out. Tickets like $600, $700 for upper deck. So I'm excited for it. I'll give a quick little breakdown of it. Basically, Munguia, he throws 3-punch combinations all the time. And he leaves his hand down. Canelo is going to counter him. He throws a jab. Mark my words, Canelo's going to come in with a high guard and counter him, and he's going to break Munguia's guard. Mark my words on that one. Everybody's saying Munguia. No way. I got Canelo winning this fight. Munguia is a 6-1 underdog. So they're not giving him much respect. You know, De La Hoya, all these guys like this is the dawn of a new era, taking the throne. You're not taking the throne from Canelo. Canelo will win this fight. I actually see Canelo stopping him round 10, round 11. I think TKO, I think ref stoppage. I've been watching the tapes. The way Munguia leaves his hands down, the simple 3-punch combinations always throws. Canelo will counter him over top of the jab, hit him, hook him, and Canelo, round 10, round 11, wins the fight.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you at all. I think the keys for Munguia in this fight, in my opinion, is that he has to work that jab. Now, Munguia is known to be a late starter. You know, it takes him a few rounds to rev up his engine. He has to keep his distance. He can't allow Canelo to kind of come in. And Munguia does have that height and reach advantage that he can use in his thing.
Yep.
We're talking about these things. You kind of hope that he's going to be prepared for those kind of things and practice and train accordingly, right? I mean, the key for me, Munguia does stand a chance, but I mean, he has to work that jab. He has to kind of keep plucking away at him. But, you know, the counterpuncher extraordinaire is Canelo. I mean,
he's just so strong. When he comes in with a tight guard, he walks you 100%. Down and fires.
So, you know, I personally think that he can finish him in 6-7 rounds, right? Because once Canelo, it takes Canelo 2 to 3 rounds maybe to figure you out, right? He's getting all this information. He's loading you up inside his brain. Okay, this is how he's moving. This is what he's doing. This could work against Munguia in that sense, right? Because then Canelo can start doing what he needs to do. Canelo is the heavier puncher. Munguia doesn't have that power. So I don't think that, you know, is too worried about it. Yeah, I think Canelo is going to get caught, but I can see why people think that Munguia can win. But yeah, you're right. But you know what? I'm going to take it a little step further. I think he's going to finish him in 6-7.
Another thing, Munguia throws his jab from mid-range, coming right into Canelo's wheelhouse. As Canelo walks closer, inches closer with the high guard, he's going to be smashed on him all night. Yeah. Canelo wins, and I'm cheering for Canelo. I never was his biggest fan, but he gets so much hate, and there's so many lies about him, and there's so much nasty stuff. coming from Triple G, coming from Benavidez, coming from De La Hoya, all these guys, he's dogging this guy, and he keeps winning, and he keeps selling the place out. So
But I was
Canelo,
thinking
keep up the
about
good
this
work.
the other day. If David Benavidez really wanted the Canelo fight, you know what in my opinion, he could have had the Munguia fight,
Mhm.
dominated him and won, and this is the fight you'd probably be seeing now. But because he's not willing to fight Morel, he's not willing to fight Munguia. Those were the two fights you should have probably taken, and that would have put you in that position right away because there was no denying you at that point, right? So I mean that doesn't help him. But David's on a different path now. He's gonna
Yeah,
probably take the winner of Bitter Beef and Bivol,
he's pretty damn good too.
and that should be interesting as well. So we'll see how that plays out. All right, let's move over to Japan, where we got probably the pound one of the. I would say he's pound for pound right now, man, even over Terrence because of his inactivity. Inoue versus Nery for the 122 titles are on the line. Tokyo Dome too. I mean, not, and this is the interesting thing I read today. The Tokyo Dome does not have a lot of boxing in there per se. I think this is the third or fourth time that they're having boxing at this level in the Tokyo Dome. Most notably was Mike Tyson against Buster Douglas, right? So it shows you
Yeah,
how far and in between boxing is actually held at the Tokyo Dome. This is huge for Inoue. Now, coming off his last fight, let's get this round started. Sorry. Coming off his last fight, he looked kind of tentative. He almost looked like he was beatable there. Coming into this, so how do you see it, man? I still say Inoue wins, but Nery does have a chance. I think I look at Inoue. I think he needs to, regulate his speed because he comes in with such ferocity and power. He wants to knock you out on every shot. He needs to slow that down a little bit. And I think his right and left hook combination is probably the key to this against the southpaw. Your thoughts?
I think Inouye's going to beat the crap out of him. I've been watching some Nery fights. He does that Philly shell. He keeps his hands down, which Inoue is going to beat the crap out of you. I don't think this guy lasts past 6 rounds. I think it's in, like you said, in the Tokyo Dome, most famously known for the upset Buster Douglas did. So Nery's hoping for that same kind of thing, and it could happen. Douglas did it, so anything can happen in fighting. But Inouye's in the zone right now. He's too strong. He's too fast. He's still too skilled. Sometimes he lacks some defensive skills in Inoue, so maybe Nery can catch him. But he keeps dropping his hands all the time, keeping his hands down. And against a guy like Inoue, you will pay for that. It's just too bad. It's great for the Japanese fans. It's too bad they're doing it in Japan. He needs to come over to North America or even Saudi Arabia and fight somebody, an American or European of a little bit of a bigger scale, and pump him up even more, because this fight here, it's not a pay-per-view over here. It's on free TV, which is good. But we need to bring him over here now and get him to the next level, because he is that good. He's one of the top 3 or 4 pound for pound fighters in the world. 122 pounds. It's hard to believe a grown man can even weigh that much. But should be a fun fight. He's exciting to watch.
Bob ranks him higher than Lomo, and he loves Lomo, right?
I know.
So, and so for him not to bring him here, there has to be a reason. There has to be something there because Inoue needs, before even Saudi Arabia, he needs to fight in North America. This fight should have been in Vegas, in my opinion. I mean, how much longer are you going to shelter this guy in Japan?
Right? I think because he put like 50, 60,000 people in Tokyo, they're making so much money there. It's like he's probably saying, well, what's the point of me bringing him here? I don't need to. All the
yen is useless against the dollar. I'm sorry to say.
No, I know.
I mean, even the amount of money that they're probably making in Japan isn't quarter or half, even maybe quarter of, but maybe not even half of what they could make in North America. This guy's got a name too. It's not like people don't know who he is.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good name. He's pretty popular. Right? He's exciting to watch. He's one of the more exciting fighters to watch.
He needs to come over to North America.
Nery's in for a short night at the office. I don't see this going past 6 rounds. That's because he just lacks so much defensive skills that he's going to get hurt really bad. Now, maybe he will change his strategy up. Maybe they realize, hey, we got to have better defense. We're going against a monster, so we'll see.
We said this about Munguia. Like, if we're calling out Munguia for the things that he does wrong against Canelo, etc., the same thing for him. You got to think in your back of your head that this is what they're training for, to be prepared for these kind of things.
Yeah.
But you know what? Once you get under those lights and everything, things can change.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, before we go on, Munguia, I wanted to touch on that. I think the other thing that people haven't realized, Munguia's got 43 fights in the can. He's done really, really well, but he's never been under these lights. And I think
against Canelo, he's never been a big main event ever. This is his first time. He's young.
And same with Nery. And same with Nery, as much as he's fought, I don't think he's ever been under those kind of lights that he's going to
Not
be
even
under in the
close.
Tokyo Dome.
No.
So that's going to be really interesting. All right, brother man. Let's talk about this, man. I'm kind of curious the pay-per-view price for this pay-per-view on Saturday, $90, man. Do you think that's right? Like, I mean, $90 is a lot of money for one fight. Like, and no disrespect to the undercard, you got Mario Barrios on there, but other than that particular name, who else do the people know? Like, why would you know what I mean?
Only the hardcores will know.
Right. So
Only
the
the hardcores
casual
know the
fans, how
undercard.
many
Yeah,
the casual fan, do you see them buying this
80.
for
It's
one
88.
fight?
It's 88.99 to be technical money. That's a lot of money for the fight. And don't forget, you have to have a DAZN subscription to buy the fight. So that's what, $30 a month, whatever that is, plus this. I don't
Well,
think it's going to do a lot of pay-per-view buys.
well, it's on Amazon Prime too, right? So I mean, if you think about it, it's going to be
Is
on.
it on Amazon Prime too?
Yeah, because he's fighting under the Showtime banner.
Yeah, it's on DAZN. I know that for sure. I'm looking at
It's
it
on
right
the
now.
zone, and it has to
89.99.
be. It would have to be on the Prime thing too. It
I
has
don't
to
think
be.
it is. I think it's on DAZN.
No, well, maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, why
Then again,
would
that's not going to be on
Heyman?
both.
See, this makes no sense. Then why would Canelo sign with Heyman only to have his fight on the DAZN pay-per-view anyways, and not even be shown on
So
Showtime? Right?
yeah, because Munguia is Golden Boy, right? So
Yeah. Munguia's Golden Boy, but in this particular case, you got Canelo fighting under the Showtime banner.
yeah, I don't know what they're doing with this one, but it's definitely on DAZN. I haven't seen it advertised at all
I
for Amazon.
believe it's on Amazon. It has to be. I mean, there would be.
I don't think so.
Al Heyman's really losing his touch, man.
I don't
Because
think it's on Amazon, dude. I'm
this
pretty
would be
positive it's just DAZN.
this is probably one of the
You're not,
biggest.
because you can't have two competing entities on the same pay-per-view.
What they
It's
have
either Amazon
they've
or
done
you're
it
not
in
going to
the
have both,
past.
right?
No, they've done it in the past. When
Which ones?
Gervonta fought Garcia, it was on DAZN and on Showtime.
Maybe I don't remember that. I was watching on DAZN.
Yeah,
Maybe you're right, but I don't believe this
that's
is
the
on
thing.
Amazon. It could be though.
Even with Tyson Fury when he fought Deontay was a part of Showtime, so it was on Showtime and it was also on Top Rank, and it was also on TNT in the UK.
Yeah, but these are streaming services, different though.
But these are
We'll have
both
to check into that, but I'm
services.
pretty positive it's only on DAZN.
Okay, well we'll look into that, but I'm pretty certain because both are streaming services, right?
Yeah.
Prime is also a streaming service.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I don't believe it's on. This one's on Amazon.
I think it is. It has to be. It just makes no sense if it isn't. If it's wrong, if it isn't, then I'm totally
Could be.
taking it back. It
Yeah, you
should
could be right. But either way,
should be.
90 bucks is a little steep. But I mean, some people, he is a big star. 60, 70. I mean, UFC was 70 on 300. It's an extra 20 bucks. It's a little steep.
It is steep, and considering you know what the outcome's going to be, considering well, you suspect the outcome to be. I mean, it's just a hard sell. I'm really curious to see what these numbers are going to look like when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll look into that, man. We'll make a little shorter.
No, it's official. Yep, you are right. It is on Amazon. I have it right here.
Yeah, so it's on
Amazon
Amazon
and DAZN.
Exactly, right? So you got.
So both are having it at 90.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I believe this is going to really hurt Showtime because I think more people buying the DAZN one because they're more reliable. They're known for boxing. Prime isn't, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Prime hasn't done anything to really promote any of this. Have you seen anything?
And they're not even paying for this, letting you have it on the platform. At least Netflix is playing WWE. Heyman did a bad deal there. He should have talked to Minimac before he made a streaming deal.
Yeah. All right. You know what? Speaking of Netflix, I think this should be a good round. We haven't really discussed the rounds today, but do you want to talk about Tyson and Jake being sanctioned?
I said it before on the show many times. This is going to be a pro fight. People are saying headgear. They're making up.
Go.
I said this before on the show many times. People are making up lies. It's going to be headgear. It's going to be exhibition. No, it's not. It's going to be a pro fight. There's too much money on the line. It's eight rounds at 2 minutes. 3 minutes, 8 rounds at 2 minutes. So which means that's better for Tyson because he's older. We've seen how gassed he got against Roy Jones. He's going to get gassed. He's 57 years old. I don't care how good a shape you're in. You're going to get gassed. So I'm glad it's a pro fight. It's free on Netflix. It's going to be huge. Be the most watched boxing fights probably, I don't know, ever. Just because it's free. You just click on it, right? You have Netflix, you can watch it. So big event. I hope it's a good fight. Hope it's not like I want Paul to win, but it doesn't really matter to me either way. But I don't want to see him go down the first round. They want to make it exciting, right? And I'm happy that's officially sanctioned pro fight, no headgear, 8 2 minutes round. Best man wins. We'll find out. Going to be fireworks.
I think it's going to be really exciting now that we have it sanctioned. Like, I still don't stand.
They wouldn't have this fight if it wasn't. They
Well, I
wouldn't do
mean,
an amateur fight.
you know, who knows, right? I mean, it's kind of what information they released to us when maybe they
No,
knew
just
months
that's
ago.
just goofballs on the internet making stuff up.
Yeah. Well, look, I think it being sanctioned favors Tyson even a bit more, in my opinion, because he'll come out with that ferocity. Like, I had this conversation a couple days ago with someone. They asked me when they found out what we do. I said, "Oh, what do you think about this fight?" I go, "Well, it's going to lose for Jake. He wins, he loses. He loses, he loses, just because of the age differential and
The
whatnot."
money he's putting in his account, that's where he wins.
No, I get it. He wins there, but in terms of trajectory and going to the next level, I said to that guy as well. I said, look, what he was doing before, yeah, there were soup cans, but he was on the right path. Whereas opposed now, he feels like he's taken a couple steps back. But Tyson is taking this seriously. He said, no
Oh yeah,
drugs, no
they both
women.
are.
Like, the guy's not doing shrooms, he's not doing weed, he's not taking any substances, he's not sleeping around.
But think of all the damage he's done to his lungs from all that weed that he smokes. That doesn't just go away. 30 years of all that weed. It's just like one joint is like equivalent smoking 20 cigarettes. So he's got, that's what I'm saying. If you watch the Roy Jones exhibition, the guy was just gassed and he was
Yeah.
going half-assed. Now you're going to go full blast against 30 years younger than you. Prime for prime, of course. Tyson would kill him. We wouldn't even step in the ring with him. This guy's 57 years old, going on 58. Heavy smoker, heavy drug user.
I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Interesting. Look, 58, he still has power.
Oh yeah, of course, but he has no
crazy power.
cardio.
He has no cardio, but I don't know if he gets in there with a body shot or something. We'll break it down when we get close to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if Jake can handle that power, even of a 50-year-old Tyson, if he gets smacked. That's
About to find out, man.
Well, that's what I'm interested in, right? Can Jake? It's not what can Tyson do. Can Jake take any of his shots if he's able to get in there with them? Right.
We're going to find out real quick because Tyson
looks like a savage in training, and people are saying to me, "Oh, well, he looks so good. He looks so good." I go, "Yeah,
those
but
are only
at the end of the day,
clips, though.
but dude, here's the deal. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good you look in training. You can look amazing in training. No one's really hitting you.
Yeah, exactly.
If someone's coming at you, it's a different story. It's a different ball game completely.
And Tyson looks great. He's in good shape. I mean,
let's see.
He's taking this seriously, and so is Jake. Both are taking it serious. I like how it's only 8 rounds. It's a short fight, but that means explosiveness.
I almost feel that if it's going to be sanctioned, they should make it 8 3-minute rounds. Let's just be fair.
I don't like
my opinion.
3-minute, but I guess they're figuring Tyson's older. He just can't do 3 minutes, and they're going to make him do 2.
Yeah.
But at least the fight is happening, and it's fair. Both guys have agreed. There's no bad blood here. They like each other. They're just talking but they actually like each other. I said I'm a big fan of Paul Brothers. I love these guys, but right now he's my enemy, kind of thing.
100%. Okay, look, I don't know if this is round worthy or not, but let's just touch on it really quick before we get into Canadian history and boxing history. Deontay Wilder, man. I mean, from a guy that basically had nothing going on, zero everything. I mean, he lost. Like Tyson said it best. He took something from him.
Absolutely,
right? He did. So he's got this fight against Zhang, which is exciting. But they already got his next match lined up in August, man, on that Crawford card in Los Angeles. That card looks sick too, man, that August 3rd card. They're looking at putting, and we've talked about this, right? Jared Anderson against Deontay for that August 3rd
card.
Well,
we'll see how Deontay looks against Zhang. If he gets knocked out, it's not happening.
Well, then it won't happen. Then you put Zhang in there against Jared Anderson. That's what Jared, if you want to prop up Jared Anderson, he needs to start fighting some of these guys, right? I've said it before. I think Jared Anderson, if it wasn't Deontay or Zhang, I think the best fight for him would be against Dubois.
Yeah, Danny Dubois, Jared needs to step up in competition, and he will.
That's it.
He's young enough. He should beat these old guys.
And we're also hearing from Joshua. I mean, we're just throwing it out there. These things will be made official eventually. He's either looking at the winner, and now I don't know if this is going to happen with Deontay, but he was saying a few days ago that Deontay or Filip Hrgović is his next target based on how those two guys do on the night. So he's
I'd love to see Wilder versus Joshua. Unfortunately, Wilder's shot now. Wilder 5 years ago tore his head off, but now it's a different Wilder.
Right, this is it. Right, so here we go. We got it all lined up. So what do we got in Boxing Day? Or sorry, pardon me. What
Before we get into that, we have to give praise to the king of pay-per-views, Ryan Garcia. 927,000 pay-per-view buys. The guy is a star. love him or hate him. And he does a lot of wacky stuff. Don't get me wrong. The guy's a star. He is the most. This paper he just did will do better than the Canelo pay-per-view. Right now, I think he is the pay-per-view king because he did 1.5 million with Davis, and now he just did 927,000 against Haney, and he beat the crap out of Haney. Broke his jaw, knocked him down. He dominated the guy. The guy is he's one of the faces of boxing. Maybe not the face they want of boxing, but because he's a little over the top, he's all over the place. Like you said, he's on a victory lap right now. He's hanging out in Mar-a-Lago, he's throwing punches, having a great time. Tiafimo's calling him out, stuff like that. And so he could pretty much fight whoever he wants. And he draws numbers, man. He's a big star. #1 social media guy in all of boxing, most followers. He's a good looking guy. The ladies love him. He's a little kooky at times, but he knows how to fight, that guy.
I got nothing against Ryan Garcia. I just, like I said to you before,
I like him.
No, I have no issues with the guy. He's 25. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing to sell the fights, and that's what you want, right? And he's also, answering it all in the ring as well, right? So,
well, the thing with Garcia is, and he's exciting to watch. Like Devin Haney's boring to watch, right? He's a good boxer, he's technical, but if you're just a regular guy, you're watching Garcia, he's dancing around, he's fast, he hits hard, like it's fun to watch, and that is like Inoue. They're exciting.
I just feel that my only thing with him is how he uses faith in his game plan.
Oh, I agree. I don't like that about him.
No, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. Like, other than that, I have no problem with what he's doing. I mean, he's doing nothing different than Conor McGregor did to build his name. He's doing nothing different than, guys in the past that have big names in the business of combat sports do. This is what you got to do. Because at the end of the day, you think about it, who are you trying to attract to? The crazy guys, right? The guys that come to the arenas and stuff like that. So, of course, I get it. I have no problem with it. But you know what? You got to leave faith out of it, man, because he's going against every element of faith, and he keeps calling on the Father's name. And, that's disturbing to me, only for the fact that it sends a negative message to people who are trying to do it the way that they're supposed to. And if you're not getting any success in your life or doing it the right way, and you see this guy with 4 different porn stars on 4 different days, cussing and swearing and doing all these things that he's doing, then don't claim to be a man of God. That's my only concern.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. He's
killing people inside that are doing it the right way. Why am I struggling? I'm just hypothetically, right? Why am I struggling? Why am I so low in the ground? I work hard every day. I do everything the right way. I never take the Lord's name in vain, only to see this guy get millions upon millions of dollars for doing everything that you're not supposed to do. That's all I'm going to say.
I can say the same about lots of guys. Mike Tyson, same thing.
No. I mean, Mike Tyson never used faith.
No, it's true.
Right?
I agree with you. Garcia, he's not perfect, but as far as in the ring goes, the guy's exciting. That's
my only knock on the guy, because you're killing people's inside. That you're pushing. If anything, people will be pushed away from the faith because they're like, well, what's the point of me doing this then? I might as well go back to the way life was, and I was happier. Most people who give up their life in order to be a better person are usually more miserable afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I hear what you're saying about him. I mean, a lot of things he does rubs me the wrong way too. I like him as a fighter. I like how he draws in big numbers, but 100% everything you said, he's a little bit out of control, man. If he keeps acting this way, not listening to his trainers, doing his own thing, eventually he will get caught like Davis caught him and knock him down. So he needs to be a little more disciplined in the ring. You got God-given talent. Yeah, you beat the crap out of Haney. You're quicker than him, stronger than him.
Sure.
But you try that with Davis, and Davis puts you on the canvas. So you know what I mean? Like, you got to be careful.
No, and like I said, I have no problem with anything else that he's doing. I get it. I would never shit on it, because, I mean, if we had the opportunity to be that way, I'm sure we would too. Right? I mean, that's just the reality of the beast.
Yeah, he has mental health, though, absolutely.
But he needs
hell of an entertainer, though.
For sure. But leave faith alone then.
No, a lot of guys are saying, and I don't agree. I'm not going to say that because I don't think so. We have no evidence of it. But if you watch him at Mar-a-Lago and he's doing all the crazy moves and stuff for the president, people are saying he's on coke. I don't think so. I just think he's an ADHD kid. He's only 25. He's just goofing around. He loves Donald Trump. He's starstruck. So he's just going fast. And you know what I mean? But people are trying to say he's a coke.
I wouldn't be surprised if both of them did a bump together.
You know what I mean? No, I don't think he does drugs. He's just too good of an athlete. But maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. Either way,
no.
He gets a lot of hate, but he draws the most pay-per-view numbers. So got to give him that.
The guy from some of the inside people that I know, that deal with him. He's got a very bad gambling addiction, and he has a bit of a drug issue as well. That's what
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
hard to say. Maybe. Oh, I'm sure he gambles. He makes so much money. That's nothing for him.
Right. But I mean, he's got a really bad gambling problem apparently. Like really, like the guy said to me, guy's a degenerate gambler.
Well, he just put $1 or $2 million on himself, and he won like 6 million. So I believe just by that bet alone, he's a heavy gambler. So yeah, I do
Yeah.
agree with that.
Like he said to me that you can find him in those underground games.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Wouldn't
brother
doubt
man. What do we have for this day in Canada, or this week in Canadian boxing history, and this week in boxing history, if anything?
Nothing happened this week in Canadian boxing history, but I am going to promote this book. It's called Tiger's Tale.
Yeah.
The remarkable story of Barrington Francis, championship boxer from Canada. I don't even want to give it away. He's had a crazy life. Great story. Well-written book. It's coming out here in a few weeks for the public to buy. We'll put the link in the description when it comes on Amazon when it's officially out. It's going to be out in a few weeks. Tiger's Tale, Barrington Francis. If you like boxing, even if you don't like boxing, this book is like the Sonny Liston book that I tell everybody about. Even if you're not a fan of boxing, you can like the history, you like the stories. Anybody can read it and enjoy it. So it's not just a hardcore technical this. It's got something for everybody, right?
Awesome. Can't wait.
I recommend it. It's a well-written book. Good author. Okay, and this week in boxing history, Muhammad Ali retained the WBC and WBA World Championship crowns in 1978 when they did 15 rounds. Imagine how grueling that would be against Jimmy Young in the Capitol Center in Maryland.
Oh,
15 rounds. Yeah,
very cool.
Jimmy Young.
Different days, man. Different times in the world of boxing. I mean,
cardio for those 15 rounds.
I like to be really honest here. Like, this is when I feel like my age, or our age in general, kind of comes into play, and I'm grateful for being the age that I am.
Mm-hmm.
Boxing in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, I got to see a lot of great fights, man. We're very fortunate for that.
Different style of, and you couldn't say the same with the wrestlers. Different. There was a different type of man then, different type of mentality. Not to say the boxers nowadays and wrestlers are not talented. They are talented, but I know what you're saying. It's a different. I know what you mean. I don't want to get too much into it, but
I mean, it's like we said last week. You look at we're not a UFC and MMA kind of show, but if you think about it, if you look, and I use this as an example because it's only a 30-year sample that we're working with. Is not much, right? I was there. I remember watching the very first UFC and watching the last UFC, right? I've seen them all. You've probably seen them all to some extent. The Liddells, the Rich Franklins, the Vitor Belforts. Those guys were tough in the ring, but they were also tough outside of the ring, where you're looking at a lot of the talent today. Yeah, they're tough and talented inside, but they have no backbone outside of the ring.
Yeah, I know. They're not like Don Fries and Dan Severns. I know what you're saying.
And same with boxing. Some of those guys, you don't want to even mess with them outside of the ring.
Sorry, listen, man.
Right?
Guy go fight Muhammad Ali, go sell a bag of heroin down the street the same night. Like, the guy was
there you
not
go.
a guy you play with.
There you go. And then you got the guys today coming on. I got nothing against Pink. I'm only just throwing that out there as an example. Wearing this fuchsia flamingo pink tuxedo. Why would you? I don't know who does, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Right? Like, it's just like the softness of humanity as a whole is really showing.
100%. Speaking of Rich Franklin, at the UFC in Vancouver, he got his arm broken, and I was sitting about maybe 30 rows up. I could hear the sound. Got kicked here, then his arm broke, and it's like, holy crap.
Right, but back in the day, it's just those guys would keep it up. Like, I mean, I still say, in my opinion, hockey guys are probably the toughest guys going.
Hands down. Because they never take time off. Basketball guys, they don't feel like playing. They don't play. They got a hurt finger. These guys play. They'll lose their teeth, throw their teeth on the side, and get back out there.
Right. Example of that would be in Game 5 on Sunday. UC, the captain for Nashville, got his ear split open, came out on the ice right away.
That's NBA. You got to take a month off, year off.
In the NBA, that guy would never have been seen again until the next year. This and that. The hockey guys are the toughest guys, hands down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And it's their playoffs is the hardest playoffs to win, the Stanley Cup, because it's best out of 7, all the rounds, they bang and they hit and getting their ear cut. getting punched, hacked. Yeah, it's tough as nails, these guys.
Like you look at Quinn Hughes, man. That guy's been taking a beating, but you're not hearing anything from him. He'll keep
Yeah.
going and going and going. I mean, hockey players are the prime example of that loyal dog that will just literally take a beating until he can't, or like the loyal horse. Sorry, like I always said, have you ever told you the difference between a horse and a donkey?
No.
So a horse, you can stack up and stack up and stack up weight on this horse's back, and he'll keep moving until he collapses of exhaustion,
Yeah. Okay. I see what you mean.
right? Where a donkey, if he feels his back is too heavy, he won't move. You have
Yeah.
to take some shit off before he'll walk away.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, the donkey's smarter than the horse, but you cannot compare the loyalty of a horse to a donkey. And that's the way I look at hockey players. They're just loyal until that final whistle. If you know you're eliminated, if you think about it, look at how many of these hockey guys come out at the end of the season, at the end of the playoffs. Yeah, I played with a broken hip and I played with a broken finger and a broken foot.
Broken foot. Yeah.
All at the same time.
I know.
Hands down, brother. All
Hardest
right,
sport in
brother.
the world.
I think we knocked this one out of the park. We got some great fights. We both picked.
Yeah, we got Canelo and Inoue, 2 of the top 10 fighters in the world. So it's a busy weekend for boxing.
It's a crazy weekend for boxing. We've made our predictions. We'll run them by again. You're saying Canelo in 10 to 11?
10 to 11 ref stoppage.
Yeah, I think Canelo they're gonna knock him out in 6 or 7.
I hope you're right. I'm cheering for Canelo. I'm not going to sugarcoat it because he gets so much bull crap. People call him coward. He's fighting a young guy who's never lost. This guy fought Triple D. This guy is not a coward. He's picks his fight smart, but he's tough.
I have never shit on Canelo. I've always thought of him highly. The only knock on him would be him blaming tainted beef.
No, he definitely did PEDs. Absolutely.
Regardless of that, that's the only.
And I gained a lot of respect for Canelo when he said, "You know what, Triple G, I'll give you your 3rd fight. Now shut your mouth. Let's do this." He settled the beef. He manned up. He did it. Now, Triple G was old at the time. I get it. But whatever the case is, he still did it. Got to give him respect.
I watched that first fight. It was on the Zone the other day, the first Canelo one. It just shows you how far back it went. Yeah. I mean,
I watched it at Bruno's.
It was HBO, right? I mean, and I'm watching that fight. I'm thinking, wow, Triple G did get robbed in that one.
They screwed him big time.
Right. They screwed him big time in that one. I mean, who knows what the world of boxing, the landscape would look like today. But let's wrap it up here. But before we go, shout out to His Excellency Turkish guys just not giving up.
Oh, one more thing. Thank you for saying that. De La Hoya is pissed off because Eddie Hearn is doing a show August 3rd in California. De La Hoya is saying, nothing about boxing, blah, 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 blah. So I like that, a little bit of competitiveness, a little bit of a rivalry going on. And you know what? De La Hoya, who are you? And I'm not even a big fan of Eddie Hearn. I think he's like Tony Khan, personally, in boxing. But who are you to tell Eddie Hearn he can't do a show in California when he wants to? He can do a show wherever he wants, pal. You put on a better show and do better. But, you're not much different than Eddie Hearn. And good for Eddie for saying, you know what, De La Hoya? Quiet your mouth. I'm doing the show.
Okay, so let's look at this card really quickly. Okay, this is what we know. Every fight I'm about to announce could be a headliner.
Card, you're saying.
Huh?
August 3rd card?
Yeah, the August 3rd card. Okay, we got Terrence Crawford against Medvedev. Okay, fair enough. Crawford's the name there. I get that, right? But after that, Jared Anderson, potentially Deontay Wilder, Tim Tszyu, Virgil Ortiz, Isaac Cruz, Jose Venezuela. Andy Ruiz, Gerald Miller.
Yeah, he loaded the card.
David Morrell versus Kajdziak. Andy Cruz versus Antonio Moran. These matches alone could be a headliner for any card.
Speaking of Virgil Ortiz, he got that first round knockout on Saturday there on the zone, the body shot. So that's pumped him right up to Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu needs to win this fight because he just lost.
But what I'm telling you, okay, De La Hoya, Al Heyman. Al Heyman's losing huge here, man. More talent is jump ship to Eddie now.
I know.
Right? So Al Heyman's got to figure out what he's doing here, or he's better close up shop because he's going to lose everyone. He's lost Deontay. He's lost Boots. I mean, and he lost someone else recently too. I can't remember his name right now, but he's got a catchy name. It all works together. Another Mexican fighter, but I mean, he's guys got to figure it out, man. I mean, Forbes released their list of combat sports, and it looks like like top Matchroom is the top.
Yeah, I see that list for money earning. Yeah, Yeah, seen that.
and it's like
I
these
still think
are.
Top Rank has the best stable of fighters, but yeah, they drew more money last year. I've seen that list too.
Well, you know what I think they should
Got to
do?
give them
It
that.
should be interesting if you're getting a Queensbury versus Matchroom kind of card here. Why don't we do a Top Rank versus Golden Boy?
Yeah, I mean, De La Hoya used to be under Top Rank, and their buddies, they were drinking, was a Scotch and wine. I remember De La Hoya went to meet
Yeah,
him in his office. So,
yeah. I mean, Americans, the American promoters should not complain. If anything, you need to work with
and
these
thanks for
guys.
bringing Top Rank. I guess now that Vinnie Mac is no longer promoting, Bob Arum will go down as the longest tenured promoter and the most, well, maybe Vinny's done better business, but Bob has nobody's outlasted Bob Arum. The guy
No,
went from promoting Muhammad Ali fights. He's 91. He's on his way to Japan, probably already there for the Inoue fight. The guy is the greatest promoter of all time. Just because of his longevity, nobody can touch him.
no, no one can touch him, man.
And
And
he's
you know
still
what?
sharp.
No one can touch us. We are Samp and Chance. I'm Bobby Sampson. His name is Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great ACDC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. The weekend is here. The days are getting longer. The weather could do a little bit better, in my opinion. But you know what? The days are longer, which means more time out with the family, barbecues, drinking, and doing all those fun things.
Yep.
You know where I'm going with this, guys. Drink, do your thing. Girls, drink, do your thing. Do whatever you want, but just remember to get home safely because we want you back on Tuesday and we want you back next Thursday to hear our reactions to everything. And most importantly, people, anyone who hates on you, and I say this all the time now because I want to hammer this home. Anyone who hates on you, hates on your ambition, they're hating on themselves and they probably hate themselves more than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
So never give up the fight. Always fight the good fight. You want it, earn it. Nothing is given to you for free. There is no such thing in this world as free titty. Mark my words. Samp and Chance are out.